At the beginning of April, a cruise ship called the MV Hantavirus set sail from the southern tip of Argentina. Shortly after, a lethal infection struck the ship, ultimately leading to the deaths of several passengers. Reports of a deadly outbreak in a confined space like a cruise ship naturally trigger anxiety. It is easy to worry that a new threat might force society to a sudden halt, much like the lockdowns of the recent past. The source of the illness is an established virus called hantavirus. It is a family of roughly 20 different viral species, originally named after a river in South Korea where early research took place. What makes this situation unusual is the setting. Historically, the vast majority of human cases are reported in rural environments, places like open fields, in deep forests, or working farms. Even with the virus appearing on a packed luxury vessel, the World Health Organization currently maintains that the risk to the general public remains very low. Hantavirus behaves as an environmental hazard rather than a typical respiratory infection. It does not spread easily from person to person through simple contact like a cough or a sneeze. The virus is carried by infected rodents, specifically rural rats and mice. They leave the virus behind in their nesting areas through their urine and droppings. When that waste dries out, any physical disturbance, like sweeping a floor, kicks those microscopic particles into the air. If you breathe it in, the virus enters your body. The presence of the virus on the cruise ship traces back to two specific passengers. A Dutch couple had spent time traveling through rural, high-risk areas in South America immediately before boarding the vessel. They were traveling in a region that harbors one significant exception to the typical rules of transmission. A version known as the Andes virus, found in Argentina and Chile, has the rare ability to spread directly from one human to another. During a 2018 outbreak in Argentina, a single person carrying the Andes virus attended a party. That one interaction resulted in 34 confirmed cases and 11 deaths. Even with this specific variant, the threat remains tied to its geography. It requires a traveler to catch the virus in an isolated rural hotspot and carry it directly into a new environment. When someone is exposed, the early signs are often deceptive. The infection begins much like a standard flu, bringing on fatigue, a fever, and muscle aches. As the infection progresses, it can attack the lungs. This is known as Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome, which causes severe breathlessness as the lungs fill with fluid. Roughly 38% of people who develop this condition will not survive. A second manifestation, hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, targets the kidneys. This version causes internal bleeding and acute kidney failure, with the mortality rate rising to 50%. While those with existing health issues face the highest risk, an infection this severe is devastating for patients of any age. To confirm an infection, doctors use a PCR test. By taking a tiny sample from a patient, they can make millions of exact copies of specific genetic segments, allowing them to positively identify the virus. Because there are currently no specific antiviral cures or vaccines for hantavirus, medical teams rely on a strategy called supportive care. Supportive care uses technology to keep the body running while it fights the infection. This includes oxygen therapy, mechanical ventilators to assist the lungs, and dialysis machines to filter the blood if the kidneys fail. Doctors use these interventions to keep vital organs functioning, providing the patient's own immune system the time it needs to clear the virus. Aside from the rare variant found in South America, the virus lacks the biological tools to spread easily between people. In most cases, the chain of transmission stops once you leave the rodent's environment. Prevention is based on avoiding specific hazards in rural settings. The highest risk occurs in poorly ventilated spaces where rodents may have nested, such as old sheds, barns, or cabins. If you need to clean these spaces, the natural instinct to sweep the floor is actually dangerous. Dry sweeping is what launches the viral particles into the air. The safe protocol is to first open all doors and windows for ventilation. Wearing a mask and using a spray bottle to wet down surfaces before cleaning ensures that any hazardous dust stays trapped on the ground. While hantavirus is a serious illness, its reliance on specific environmental conditions makes it a localized risk. Understanding these triggers turns a frightening headline into a hazard that is